Let's see if we can get started. Good morning. So sorry for the delay. We had several things going on. I know that's a surprise to those of you that spend your days at session. So anyway, thank you very much. Welcome to Senate Finance. I am Marilyn Dondero Loop. I will be chairing the meeting today. And please, as a reminder, to silence or mute your cell phones. And if you're going to speak, please state or spell your name when you come to the dais. With that, I will ask the secretary to please call the roll.
Senator Buck, Senator Cannizzaro, Senator Neal, Senator Wynn, Senator Stone, Senator Taylor, Senator Titus, Chair Dondero Loop.
And I am here. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to go a little bit off the agenda today. I know that's also a surprise to most of you. But we are going to start with a very special presentation. We have a proclamation and that we would like to present. And today is what we call a blackout day on the floor with no guests. So if you will indulge me while I do this presentation, and then we will start the hearings. We're going to Jimmy rig the microphone so that they can get this online. All right. So this morning, we have a very special proclamation for the University of Nevada, Las Vegas Partnership for Research, Assessment, Counseling, Therapy, and Innovative Clinical Education. And this is so important because Dr. Michelle Paul, who is with us today, stands as a beacon of hope and healing, providing compassionate research-informed care to individuals and families while shaping a new generation of mental and behavioral health professionals equipped to serve Nevada's diverse communities. So UNLV has long had this critical hub for clinical training and therapeutic services, but now we actually have formally designated UNLV Practice, as it will be called, as an institute of mental and behavioral health, affirming its leadership in advancing bold, collaborative models that integrate care, education, and applied research. So I would like to ask Dr. Paul to come up and accept this. And thank you so much for all you are doing, because this new program is going to be such a game changer in Nevada as a whole. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And thanks to all of you for indulging us. I think Senator Wynn has a quick comment.
I just also want to take this time. I know we would normally have Order of Business 16 to thank Dr. Paul. I know she has been just so helpful. And if you have all to my fellow senators, if you are ever looking to do anything in the area of behavioral and mental health, like, she is definitely a resource. She's an advocate. She's super smart, and just all the things that we hope that we have in our state advocating for our Nevada families. So the proclamation is well deserved. So thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, with that, we will now go to the agenda, and I am going to need to turn over the microphone, that'll make some people happy, to my vice chair so I can run down and do a couple bills. So with that, Madam Vice Chair, you're on.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. We are going to open the hearing on Senate Bill 229 and invite our chair down to the table to begin when you're ready. I'm sorry, go ahead and begin when you're ready.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Vice Chair Wynn and members of the committee. I am Senator Marilyn Dondero Loop, representing Senate District 8 in Clark County. I am presenting Senate Bill 229, which makes certain changes to existing law concerning financial literacy instruction and the state seal of financial literacy program. As many of you recall, the body has a long history of strong bipartisan commitment to making financial literacy in the classroom a reality for students across Nevada, from college debt, car, and mortgage loan payments to consideration about pensions and investments. Many Nevadans are faced with complex financial decisions that sometimes last decades. Oftentimes, recent graduates encounter these decisions with little, if any, experience with the complexities of financial impacts. The Nevada Legislature recognized the need to bolster the financial proficiency of our youth to ensure they make sound decisions for themselves. Given the work we have done in the area, Senate Bill 229 expands on this policy to ensure more students benefit from this instruction. This will include financial literacy instruction in kindergarten, first, and second grades, opening the door to more students achieving the financial literacy seal on their diplomas by changing the grade point average, setting forth options for students to earn the seal, and you have a conceptual amendment in front of you that changes the grade point from average to a 3.0 on a 4.0 gap scale, as well as on a weighted scale. Senate Bill 229 has an unsolicited fiscal note from the Department of Education of $95,573 for the fiscal year 25-26 and $68,969 for fiscal year 26-27. I would suggest that they address that issue. Amanda Hughes, an educational professional, is behind us with NDE and works in this financial literacy area. And so if you have any technical questions on that, and I have next to me Christine Hull, the Executive Director of the Nevada Center for Civic Engagement, who will make a few remarks.
Good morning. For the record, my name is Christine Hull. Last name is spelled Hull. Good morning, Vice Chair Wynn and Senate Finance Committee. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today about Nevada's financial literacy seal and the importance of promoting financial literacy for all students. I would like to extend my sincere thanks to Senator Dondero Loop for sponsoring this bill and for her ongoing commitment to education in Nevada. Nevada's graduation seals are more than just a recognition at the end of high school. They are meaningful opportunities for students to deepen their understanding and engagement in essential subject areas. Following the Great Recession, the Nevada Legislature recognized the urgent need to prepare students for financial independence. In 2009, SB 317 established the Foundation for Financial Literacy Instruction across all grade levels. This was followed by bills in 2017 and 2019, which established the Financial Literacy Seal and the Advisory Council, as well as designating April as Financial Literacy Month. Most recently, AB 274 in 2023 strengthened the Council's role to better support the Nevada Department of Education in providing resources and guidance for financial literacy instruction statewide. Over time, we've seen that preparing fiscally responsible adults takes more than classroom instruction. It requires real-world application. The proposed updates to the Financial Literacy Seal would expand student participation and allow for greater cross-curricular integration, helping students apply financial knowledge in authentic and meaningful ways. As an educator, I've been involved with the Financial Literacy Seal since its creation and previously served as the program's professional for social studies and financial literacy at the Nevada Department of Education. I've seen firsthand how strong financial education can transform students' futures and strengthen communities. Thank you for your time and your continued support of Nevada's students.
And with that, Madam Vice Chair, we stand for questions.
Thank you. Do we have any questions from committee members? I think we have one from Senator Titus. Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. Would you clarify what the fiscal note was? $600,000?
68,000, and that's been changed then? Is that what I heard you say initially?
The fiscal note from the Department of Ed, and I'll call Amanda Hughes up to clarify, but it is 95,573 for the first year, and then 68,969 for the second year.
Right,
And that's to develop the seals, et cetera, but there she is. Okay, Amanda will speak. Thank you.
Good morning, Amelia Tebow for the record. I handle the fiscal notes for the agency, so not Amanda,
you.
but Amanda's right behind us. So the fiscal note in place is specifically for the process of adopting content standards. So Section 2 expands it to kindergarten through second grade. We do have an established process in the agency whereby we collect a standards committee. With the standards committee, anytime that they meet, it's usually, I believe, 10 meetings typically to convene the standards committee. Associated with that, we have overtime for an EPP and the education director who have to be north and south at the same time to convene the standards committee. We do have them already placed there. There's also stipends for the standards committee, which is a standard cost. And I apologize, let me just double check the other pieces. We do have half an EPP position, which is in fiscal year 26-27. They're going to support developing curriculum and professional development and Canvas courses for those standards in K2. So that is where our $6,403 in fiscal year 25-26, that's overtime. $30,000 in fiscal year 25-26 is stipends for convening the standards committee. We do have half a position to our accounting unit, specifically to process those expenses. Unfortunately, we have incredibly limited staff, and we are currently an average of about 25 days behind processing due to the limitations of staff and the number of transactions that we have go through. So at this juncture, we have been trying to place some amount of at least contract or temporary staff to ensure that we're able to continue processing those payments as we add payments at any given time. I do believe that addresses our fiscal note in total at this time.
Do you have any follow-up, Senator Titus? Do we have any other further questions? That actually answered my question. I think you did a great job in your presentation, Chair. So with no further questions, we'll begin testimony in support of Senate Bill 229. So if you were here to testify in support of Senate Bill 229, I'd ask you to hurry up to the table, either here in Carson City or in Las Vegas, and go ahead and begin when you're ready.
Good morning, Vice Chair, members of the committee. My name is Susan Keema, K-E-E-M-A. I am the Executive Director for the Nevada Association of School Superintendents, representing all 17 public school districts. We are testifying in support of SB 229. Thank you.
Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Nadine Kennifer. I'm with Ferrari Reader, representing Nevada's credit unions. For the record, that is spelled K-I-E-N-H-O-E-F-E-R, and we are in support. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Vice Chair, members of the committee. For the record, Trevor Parrish with the Vegas Chamber. The Chamber is supportive of this measure and supportive from the fiscal perspective. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Vice Chair. My name is Tom Clark. I'm here on behalf of the Nevada Association of School Boards, very much in support of Senate Bill 229. Financial literacy is really a big deal. You know, there was a time when we were taught that we had to balance our checkbooks using the register and math. Nowadays, with online banking and stuff, money can get out of your hands really, really quick. So the financial literacy side of things taught in this school, offering this certificate, very important. Thank you, Madam Vice Chair.
Thank you. I don't see anyone else here in the room or in Las Vegas. If we can go to the phone lines for testimony in support of our Senate Bill 229.
Thank you. If you would like to offer testimony in support of SB 229, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to offer testimony at this time.
Thank you. While we are on the phone lines, I will move to testimony in opposition. Is there anyone on the phone lines to testify in opposition?
Thank you. If you would like to testify in opposition to SB 229, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to offer opposition testimony at this time.
Thank you. And we will go into the room here. Is there anyone to testify in opposition to Senate Bill 229 here in the room? I don't see anyone here in Carson City or in Las Vegas. So we will end with neutral testimony. Is there anyone to testify in neutral on Senate Bill 229? Seeing no one here in Carson City or in Las Vegas, is there anyone on the phone lines to testify in neutral?
Thank you. If you would like to offer neutral testimony for SB 229, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Cynthia Perrine, Cynthia. I am very glad to see that there is a financial literacy effort in our schools. Wonderful. I am concerned about the lowering of the GPA scale. Thank you.
I'm not sure if that was neutral testimony, but if you do have opposition to the bill, we would probably recategorize that as opposition testimony, but I encourage you to send emails or contact the bill sponsor if you have any further questions that you think might need clarification. And with that, I will call our sponsor back. Oh, she's waving it off. So I will close the hearing on Senate Bill 229, and we will open the hearing on Senate Bill 353, and I will invite our chair to come back to the table. And I don't know if you have any other co-presenters with you. Maybe, maybe not. Yes, there we go. And once you get situated, go ahead and begin when you are ready.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, Vice Chair. And members of the committee, once again, I am Marilyn Dondero Loop, representing District 8 in Clark County, and I'm here to present Senate Bill 353 in its first reprint, which creates a billing category and reimbursement rates for mental and behavioral health services provided to Medicaid enrollees at certain clinics. Medicaid is the single largest mental health services in the United States and remains a critical pathway to accessing health care. Ensuring access to mental and behavioral health services for Medicaid enrollees is a fundamental aspect of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services mission of supporting the overall well-being of individuals through essential care. Vice Chair Wynn, with your permission, I'm just going to quickly summarize the first reprint. The bill requires the Division of Healthcare, Financing, and Policy of the Department of Health and Human Services, also referred to as Nevada Medicaid, to create a specific billing category within the Medicaid Service Manual to the extent of available federal participation. This category is intended for clinics operated by an accredited university within Nevada or pursuant to a faculty practice plan to which such a university is a party that provide under the direction of a physician mental or behavioral health to Medicaid enrollees, education and training to trainees completing a degree, supervised clinical hours or other requirements for registration, certificate, or license as a mental or behavioral health professional. In addition, this bill establishes two separate all-inclusive per diem Medicaid reimbursement rates for services provided by certain trainees during a visit to such a clinic and describes where the services must be provided by the clinic. This bill also requires DHHS to apply for any waiver or Medicaid state plan amendment or other federal authorities to carry out the bill's provisions. Lastly, the bill defines terms used throughout the bill. The Department of Health and Human Services provided a fiscal note that estimates a fiscal impact of over $680,000 over the next biennium. Thank you, Vice Chair, and I have Dr. Paul with me to answer any questions about this, as well as I believe there is someone in the audience from Director Weeks' division. Thank you.
Do we have any questions from committee members? Go ahead, Dr. Titus.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair, and thank you for bringing it forward and what you do. Just a question would be for on the Medicaid side, is this going to need a Medicaid waiver, and has it been granted in other states?
And I believe we have someone from Medicaid to be able, there, look at that, phone a friend.
Good morning, Madam Vice Chair, Committee. Ann Jensen for the record. I'm the Innovation Officer here at Nevada Medicaid. Based on our understanding, this would require a state plan authority, so it would not be a waiver, but we would have to seek federal authority from CMS, which, as we know, can be a somewhat lengthy process. The state of Washington has explored this most recently, and I believe that they're in the process of securing this authority, and we've been working with them to develop our fiscal note as well to ensure that we're reflecting similar understanding and research.
Great, thank you. And from what I understand on the bill, that wording is already, if this plays out, then this will happen. So thank you, Madam Chair and Vice Chair.
Do we have any other further questions? We do, all the committee members do have a conceptual amendment to Senate Bill 353. And just to clarify, Senator Dondero Loop, this also, because of the nature of Medicaid patients, as well as the fact that it has to do with mental and behavioral health, we're able to use some of those provider tax fees in order to cover these Medicaid portion of the thing. So it's not all general fund. Is that correct?
That is correct. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. No further questions. So at this time, if we can ask you to step back, and we'll start and begin by accepting testimony in support of Senate Bill 353. If you are here to testify in support of Senate Bill 353, I'd also point out, I know we have some people standing here in the room. There is an overflow room in 2134. So if you are in 2134 and you would like to come over and testify in either support, neutral, or opposition to any of the bills, you will have to come into this room to do so. But again, there is overflow capacities right next door. So with that, we'll go ahead and begin testimony in support. Go ahead and begin when you're ready.
Good morning, Vice Chair and Committee. My name is Sabrina Schnur, Sabrina Schnur, and I'm here today on behalf of the Nevada Psychiatric Association, and we are in support. Thank you.
Good morning, Vice Chair, members of the committee. For the record, Alejandra Rodriguez, Nevada System of Higher Education, and she is also in strong support of this bill. Thank you.
Hello, Vice Chair and Committee. Sheila Bray with the University of Nevada, Reno. We also are in strong support and thank Chair Dondero Loop and UNLV for bringing forward this bill.
Anyone else? I don't see anyone in Las Vegas. Phone lines, if we can go to the phone lines for testimony in support of Senate Bill 353.
Thank you, Vice Chair. If you would like to offer testimony in support of SB 353, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to offer support testimony at this time.
And with that, we will begin testimony in opposition. If you would like to come to the table in opposition, do so at this time. I don't see anyone here in Carson City or in Las Vegas, so if we can go to the phone lines for any testimony in opposition on Senate Bill 353.
Thank you. If you would like to offer testimony in opposition to SB 353, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to offer opposition testimony at this time.
And finally, we will end with neutral testimony. Is there anyone to testify in neutral? I don't see anyone here in Carson City or in Las Vegas on the phone lines. Is there anyone to testify in neutral?
If you would like to testify in the neutral position for SB 353, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to offer neutral testimony at this time.
Wonderful. And with that, I will see if there are any closing remarks. Seeing yes, no closing. Oh, yes, there are closing remarks. Well, we will ask our wonderful chair to come back to the table and give any closing remarks. Go ahead and begin when you're ready.
Thank you very much, Madam Vice Chair. Marilyn Dondero Loop for the record. I did fail to mention one important thing, and to carry out Section 1, authorize the transfer of the $116,662, $116,672 in fiscal year 26 and $138,481 in fiscal year 27 of the revenue from the assessments imposed in the NRS 422.3794 from the account to improve healthcare quality and access created by NRS 422.37945 to the medical Medicaid budget account and authorize federal funding of $211 $206,213 in fiscal year '26 and $206,127 in fiscal year '27. And this helps with the funding. And this is a conceptual amendment.
Wonderful. And the document that you just read out kind of helps with the transfer of funds and the
Yes.
budget implementation.
And I
of where those
apologize
funds come from.
for the Charlie Foxtrot.
No. Wonderful. With that, we will close the hearing
Thank
on
you.
Senate Bill 353, and we will take a brief 1-minute recess so our chair can come back and resume her responsibilities and duties.
All right, back at it. Thank you very much. And we will move to Senate Bill 245, and we have Senator Lang here to present. And please go ahead when you are ready.
Good morning. Chair John Darrow Loop, committee members, I'm Roberta Lang, representing Senate District 7 in Las Vegas. I'm excited to be here today to present Senate Bill 245, which builds upon the work this body has done to strengthen civics literacy in this state. This bill improves upon the seal of the civics program, creates an advisory council on civics education, and makes an appropriation to the Nevada Center for Civic Engagement. I'll give you just a little bit of background. In 2012, the Educational Testing Service issued an insightful report called Fault Lines in Our Democracy, Civic Knowledge, Voting Behavior, and Civic Engagement in the United States. The report warns that many students in the United States lack an acceptable level of knowledge about civics. It has also highlighted a growing concern about civic engagement and consequently the health of the country's democracy. We have done considerable bipartisan work over the last several sessions to bolster our civic literacy and engagement in Nevada. Part of this work through Senate Bill 194 in the 2021 session. The bill established a state seal of civics program to recognize high school graduates with a level of proficiency in civic education by placing a seal on their diploma. Senate Bill 245 does the following. Number one, it creates an advisory council on civics education to assist with the development and implementation of the Civic Seal program, including an application process for students, a rubric for identifying the requirements to earn the seal, setting up criteria for excellence awards in schools, student leaders, and educator leaders. And number two, it appropriates $20,000 to fund the needs of the program, such as graduation cords, design, printing of seals for graduates, and developing a website. You have before you an amendment I'm proposing to do the following. One, add additional members to the advisory council to include 2 members appointed by the governor, 1 from business and 1 from industry. 1 member appointed by the Chancellor of the Nevada System of Higher Education and the Secretary of State or his or her designee. And number 2, to change the grade point average that a student must earn to qualify for the seal from 2.5 to 3.0 on a 4.0 GPA scale or other weighted criteria. I would like to turn the microphone over to Christine Hall, Executive Director of the Nevada Center for Civic Engagement. The appropriation in this measure would be provided to the center as a fiscal agent of this program.
Please go ahead when you're ready.
Thank you. For the record, my name is Christine Hull. Last name is spelled Hull. Good morning, Chair Darrell Loop and committee members. I appreciate the opportunity to speak about Nevada's Civic Seal and how we can encourage civic engagement for all students. I would like to thank Senator Lang for sponsoring the bill and her continued dedication to civic education for Nevada students. The Nevada Civic Seal is more than a graduation recognition. It's an opportunity to deepen students' engagement in civics and their communities across all grade levels. It recognizes schools, teachers, and students for their role as civic leaders. But more importantly, it encourages a more focused approach to civic education. Already defined at each grade level in the Nevada Academic Content Standards, each grade level has standards that work towards informed, engaged citizens who can think critically, engage in civil discourse, and contribute to their communities with age-appropriate lessons. Democracy is not something students read about. It is something they must practice. In today's rapidly changing world, an informed and engaged citizenry is more important than ever. Civic education goes beyond memorizing the Constitution. It is about understanding rights and responsibilities, being curious about the world around us, and driving meaningful change by using their own voice. The Nevada Center for Civic Engagement has been involved in the Civic Seal since its passage in 2021, and we fully support the proposed changes and are dedicating staff time to ensure students statewide can access this opportunity. However, the program's success hinges on establishing a council to support the implementation. One person at the Nevada Department of Education alone cannot manage this full initiative effectively. Similar to the Governor's STEM Recognition Program, the Civic School of Excellence Recognition Program offers schools, teachers, and students across all grade levels and all types of schools the opportunity to deepen their commitment to civic engagement within their schools and communities. By modeling what collaborative work within a community looks like, the addition of a council to the Civic Seal program enables multiple voices to be brought to the table, ensuring Nevada schools have the opportunity to participate in this program, and that those voices can expand the program throughout the state. Sorry, I have to flip the page. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Chair, this bill is an important step in ensuring more civically educated and engaged students graduate from our schools. Chair Darrell Loop and committee, Ms. Hull and I are happy to answer any questions the committee may have at this time. Thank you so much.
Committee members, thank you. And committee members, any questions on this particular bill? Senator Wynn.
Thank you, and thank you for that presentation. Have there been any changes to the appropriation of that $20,000 to the fiscal note other than what was initially indicated in the bill?
It's just the same.
Thank you very much. Senator Neal.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So it's just a general question. So if this was established in 2021 and it's in NDE, did the districts never perform the task, or was just a single individual who was doing it? Because I was looking at the fiscal notes, and like Clark County School District was saying they needed travel to meetings, per diem, cover licensed persons. Lincoln County was saying they were going to need a teacher. So educate me a little bit.
Sure. For the record, Christine Hull. So when it was passed, there's two parts to the original bill. One is the actual seal for seniors graduating. The other part is the Civics Excellence Program. While we've been able to establish some criteria through a volunteer committee for the actual seal, some limitations in putting that in Infinite Campus has created it's created some limitations for districts to participate in the seal because there are multiple steps in order for students to participate and get the seal. So I know that the Nevada Department of Education is working with Infinite Campus to create a much simpler process for all of the seals so that they can also be tracked so we know how many students are participating. As far as we know, only Clark and Washoe and only some schools have been able to give civic seals out. The other part of the bill is the Civics Excellence Program, and because Amanda Hughes is the EPP over social studies at the Department of Ed as one person to create a way to take applications, create a rubric, to award schools as one person who does all of the social studies. That is virtually impossible unless she doesn't sleep, which I think is very important. So unfortunately, that part of the bill has not been taken off. I can't speak for Lincoln or Clark County as far as what travel they feel that they need, but there would be no travel required by districts for this.
Thank you for that. That's what I was wondering. I don't know if that fiscal note is still relevant or not, but if it was absorbed as voluntary, I mean, that's what it says, right? That, and they have like a cost associated with a daily cost of participation in the council. So,
Yeah,
have you not seen that fiscal note?
No, I think all the meetings can be handled virtually. I don't think there needs to be any travel with it.
Or a license, well, I guess the teachers. But what's the issue with Infinite Campus and trying to program it? Is there like a cost to program Infinite Campus for the seal?
Amanda, do you want to answer that? I'm going to phone a friend and ask Amanda Hughes from the Department of Ed to respond to the Infinite Campus question.
Good morning, Amanda Hughes, for the record, HUGHES. So currently, all districts do not use Infinite Campus the same way. And so putting it into the system in a way we can track it has to be adjusted. So there is another bill that is specifically with, to work with Infinite Campus. The way it is now, it's a challenge. For example, one of the requirements is the citizenship grades. Currently, there is not a way in Infinite Campus for students or for teachers to track those citizenship grades. So that's one of the pieces to put it in there. And then also charter schools, other schools do not all use Infinite Campus. And so we're trying to get that more universal so that we do have a way to track it.
I mean, I shouldn't ask this, but I'm gonna. So, right? Because I mean, I immediately just went to elementary where citizenship grades are like a part of life. This S, O, and whatever, right? So are you trying to tell me that the Infinite Campus system that is used in a high school doesn't have the same elements that an elementary school has?
It's not necessarily for tracking the grade, it's for tracking the seal, for tracking the requirements of the seal.
Okay, that makes more sense. Because I was like, so what are they doing in an elementary school with Infinite Campus? Like making
Another
it
piece
up?
of the seal is the service learning project, and so that's another one is how do we track that appropriately in Infinite Campus is what we're trying to work out.
Okay, thank you for the education.
Serious business in kindergarten. I know, I taught it. Remember, all you ever wanted to know, you learned in kindergarten. All right, any other questions? All right, thank you very much, all of you. All right, with that, we'll ask our presenter to sit back, and we will go to those in support of Senate Bill 245, if you'll come forward here in Carson City. Please go ahead when you're ready.
Thank you, and good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. For the record, Trevor Parrish with the Vegas Chamber. The Chamber is in support of this measure and supportive from the fiscal perspective. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Nadine Kennifer. I'm with Ferrari Reader, representing Nevada's credit unions, and we are in support. Thank you.
Susan Kima, Executive Director, Nevada Association of School Superintendents, and we are in support of SB 245. The process of preparing our students to understand and participate in their communities and government is important to our democracy. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. My name is Tom Clark. I'm here on behalf of the Reno-Sparks Chamber of Commerce, as well as the Nevada Association of School Boards, in full support of SB 245. This is a time when civics is very, very important. The Reno-Sparks Chamber puts on 2 seminars a year that we try to educate business leaders and others about civics. We started off with a test, and it's frightening to see the scores at the front end of those classes. So very much needed. Thank you.
Brad Keating, for the record, representing Clark County School District. We're here to support Senate Bill 245. Just wanted to come up on the record based on the conversation today. The fiscal note originally could not be determined based on travel. Based on the conversation today and that the meetings will be virtually, those concerns would be wiped away, so there would be zero fiscal note for the Clark County School District. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Seeing no one else here in Carson City, seeing no one in Las Vegas, we'll go to the phone lines. AVH, when you're ready.
Thank you, Chair. If you would like to testify in support of SB 245, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to offer support testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to opposition. Is there anyone here in Carson City in opposition? In Las Vegas, seeing none, we'll go to the phone lines. AVH, when you're ready.
Thank you. If you would like to offer testimony in opposition to SB 245, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to offer opposition testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to neutral here in Carson City. In Las Vegas. Neutral testimony. Go ahead, please.
Cyrus Hojjati, Hojjaty. We appreciate the efforts, and we are glad that this is being done. And we just want to make sure that there's local control and that there's that it sticks on topic. And other than that, thank you.
Thank you. Going to the phone lines, AVH, when you're ready for neutral.
Thank you, Chair. If you would like to offer neutral testimony for SB 245, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to offer neutral testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. Any closing remarks? All righty. Then we'll close the hearing on Senate Bill 245, and we'll open the hearing on Senate Bill 337, and we'll welcome Senator Lang back to the table.
Good morning again. I'm Roberta Lang, representing Senate District 7 in Las Vegas, and I'm here to talk to you today about opioids and having an opportunity for someone that's going to the hospital or to the doctor to ask for a non-opioid medication. And so in this bill, let me just get to it. So this bill is requiring certain healthcare facilities and certain providers of healthcare to provide patients with a form for a non-opioid directive and offer patients treatments that do not utilize an opioid under certain circumstances. It requires the Division of Public and Behavioral Health of the Department of Health and Human Services to create a form for a non-opioid directive, requiring the administrator of the division to appoint an advisory board to monitor compliance with laws and regulations relating to non-opioid directives, requiring certain policies of health insurance to include coverage for at least one drug that is an alternative to opioids, requiring certain insurers to provide a form for non-opioid directives to new insured, and revising the manner for which money in the Fund for a Resilient Nevada allocates money to projects and grants and providing to other matters. And I have a conceptual amendment because we did get tagged with a fiscal note on this for the implementation of this bill. And so the fiscal note simply states that the money would come from the opioid settlement money known as the Fund for a Resilient Nevada, and it would cover the impacts listed on the fiscal note in Nellis. Also, I have another proposed amendment that should be in your packet. It's nurses and other people that were listed in the bill that would have to implement this and report don't have those that authority. So we met with the boards yesterday, and they have submitted an amendment that would take care and meet what they need to do within the hospitals and the doctor's office. And with that, Madam Chair, happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. Any questions from the committee on Senate Bill 337? Senator Titus.
Not a question, just a statement. Senator, I appreciate the listening to the concerns and the amendments. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you very much. Any additional questions, comments on this particular bill? All right, thank you very much. All right, with that, we'll go to support here in Carson City. If you will come forward and go ahead when you're ready.
Good morning, Madam Chair and Committee. My name is still Sabrina Schnur, and I am still with the Nevada Psychiatric Association. It is still spelled SCHNUR. We are in support of this bill. This is a great way to help folks who live with substance use disorder or who may be at risk of substance use disorder to have a plan in place for hospitalization. We encourage patients to have a plan in place. Thank you.
Any additional support here in Carson City? Seeing none, we'll go to Las Vegas. Seeing none, we'll go to the phone lines. AVH, when you're ready.
Thank you. If you would like to offer testimony in support of SB 337, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue.
Hi, this is Saju Joseph, SAJU, JOSEPH. I'm a surgeon in Las Vegas, Nevada. I want to give my support for the bill.
Thank you very much. Next caller.
There are no other callers wishing to provide support testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. Then we'll go to opposition. Anyone here in Carson City, Las Vegas, on the phone lines? AVH, when you're ready.
Thank you. If you would like to offer testimony in opposition to SB 337, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to offer opposition testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to neutral. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. Michael Hillerby on behalf of the Nevada State Board of Nursing. Just want to thank the sponsor and the proponents for helping us and working with us on the issue for boards and how we handle the license renewal and verification. And I think I can also speak on behalf of the other boards in this case in saying thank you for that.
Thank you, Chair. Lucas Fleta for the Board of Optometry. We just echo Mr. Hillerby's statement and appreciate the bill sponsor's willingness to work with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Adam Plain, P-L-A-I-N, with the Nevada Division of Insurance. The division's neutral on the bill. We did submit written testimony. I submitted a little bit late yesterday. It was 2 o'clock, so I don't think it's in Nellis, but it's virtually identical to what we submitted in the policy committee, which you can scroll down and see it on there. We did receive a solicited fiscal note request when the session started. We attempted to submit an undetermined fiscal note on Senate Bill 337, but for some reason it got dropped and never uploaded into the system. Going back to the division's favorite topic of federal defrayal, the division has reviewed Senate Bill 337 and cannot make a determination whether or not this bill will trigger federal defrayal. The written testimony kind of gives a summary of the situation, but pharmaceutical benefits are treated differently for purposes of federal defrayal than standard medical benefits are. Because the bill mandates coverage of a non-opioid whenever an opioid is available, it could trigger federal defrayal depending on how many opioids and non-opioids are available in a particular pharmacopoeia category. The division just does not have expertise and resources available to determine what all of those opioid and non-opioid pharmacopoeia categories are. So we are unable to determine A, if defrayal will trigger or not, and B, if it does, what the magnitude of it would be. I'd be happy to answer any questions because I know it could be a confusing topic.
Thank you very much. All right, you're off the hook. Thank you very much. All right, any support any neutral in Las Vegas, and to the phone lines, AVH, when you're ready.
Thank you, Chair. If you would like to offer initial testimony for SB 337, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to offer initial testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. Any closing remarks? All right, with that, we'll close Senate Bill 337, and we will go to Senate Bill 132. And we will welcome our Vice Chair, Senator Wynn, to the table. Please go ahead, Senator, when you are ready.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Rochelle Wynn. For the record, I proudly represent Senate District 3, and I'm proud to sit here and present a Senate Bill 132 with the Nevada Clean Energy Fund, otherwise known as NSEF. And I have Kirsten Stassi with me, and I'm going to turn it over her to make some further statements.
Thank you, Senator Wynn. Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. My name is Kirsten Stasio, and I'm CEO of the Nevada Clean Energy Fund. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you today about SB 132, a bill that provides support to NSEF's programs and ultimately to Nevada's communities. NSEF is a nonprofit organization that provides financial and technical resources to help Nevadans save money by providing them access to clean energy. It was created in 2017 by SB 407 and began operations in 2022. In 2023, we were very lucky to have the legislature appropriate $1 million to NSEF. And since then, NSEF has leveraged the state's investment by over 200 to 1. We've secured more than $200 million in federal, private, and philanthropic funds and put it to work providing that financial and technical assistance to diverse Nevada stakeholders, from households and affordable housing developers to local governments, tribes, schools, and small businesses. I know this year is demanding difficult budgetary choices for legislators and Nevadans alike. But an investment in NSEF is a smart one because it's an investment in housing, in education, and in Nevada's economy. I'll give you a few examples. Our Nevada Solar for All program will reduce household utility bills for roughly 50,000 Nevadans over the next 4 years and create nearly 1,000 high-quality jobs for family-sustaining wages. As another example, in collaboration with the Governor's Office of Energy, we established a commercial property assessed clean energy program that helps small businesses reduce their utility costs by pursuing energy efficiency improvements. And lastly, our Clean School Bus program is bringing 25 electric school buses to rural school districts, reducing fuel and maintenance costs and also creating healthier air for our children. Programs like these are critical tools that Nevadans need, particularly in times of hardship. An additional investment in NSEF today can ensure we make the most of the limited resources available to our communities, and it continues to strengthen our capacity to bring even more funding into the state and reach more Nevadans with our programs. To conclude, I'd like to direct the committee's attention to the 4 letters of support submitted by NSEF. Our letters have 21 signees who represent affordable housing developers and advocates, clean energy businesses and trade associations, community groups, and tribes. I'm happy to answer any questions you have, and thank you for your time and consideration.
Rochelle Wynn for the record. I also, hopefully you all were provided information that I emailed to each of the committee members regarding some of the options. I know that we obviously have budgetary concerns. I think one of the things that I look at when I'm sitting up there on the dais at some of these appropriation bills that come before us is how those organizations were able to take the money that we previously allocated to them in the past and were able to leverage that. I think one of the big questions that I know often Senator Titus asks, as well as other members of this committee, is we gave you money last time, where else do you get money? And so this is an excellent example of where they were able to take $1 million that we were able to allocate them during the 2023 session, and we're able to bring in nearly $200 million to our state in such a short period of time. And they're able to distribute that money to local businesses, to lower electric costs, not only for businesses, but individuals. And that is what we are doing here today. I did give this committee multiple options and kind of broke them down by how many projects we could fund and how we could expand some of these things in real numbers, because I know I am a data-driven person, and so I appreciate NSF for getting me that information. So you can see what an investment of even $500,000 would mean for our state, what $1 million would mean for our state, and again, what the $5 million would mean for our state. And if you do not have that information, I'll make sure that I provide it to you again here, and I know that we would be able to get that information for you. And with that, we'd stand for any questions.
Thank you very much. Any questions from the committee? Thank you for that information. All right, seeing none, then you can step back, and we will go to those in support for Senate Bill 132. And please go ahead when you're ready.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Thank you. Kanani Espinoza with the Road Law Group on behalf of Nevada Hand, the state's largest nonprofit affordable housing developer. Following the state's initial $1 million investment in 2023, Nevada Hand has worked closely with NCEF and witnessed its effectiveness in leveraging state dollars to attract significant federal, private, and philanthropic funding. For example, NCEF has secured $156 million from its Solar for All award, with substantial portions dedicated to affordable housing. The energy cost savings delivered through this program will enhance tenant services and diminish funding gaps. We urge your support. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Andrea Martinez. As the former chairwoman of the Walker River Paiute Tribe and the current chair of the Nevada Clean Energy Fund's Tribal Advisory Board, I have seen the value of NSEF's programs firsthand. Collaboration with NSEF is instrumental in securing funds that benefit tribes by lowering energy bills. These energy projects also benefit the state by creating good-paying jobs for electricians, plumbers, roofers, and more in the rural counties that neighbor reservations. For example, NSEF is currently providing technical assistance to 8 tribes to unlock Department of Energy residential upgrade funding. With NSEF's support, these tribes will bring hundreds of thousands of dollars to their communities, and those communities will start saving on their home energy bills. I support an appropriation to NSEF because of the financial and economic benefits its programs bring to tribal and rural communities. An investment in NSEF this year will pay for itself many times over. I urge your support and thank you for your time.
Good morning, Honorable Chair and Committee. For the record, I'm Wendy Colborn, Chief of Staff for the Building and Construction Trades Council of Northern Nevada. Not only do we work to provide a skilled construction workforce for the state, we also own, operate, and develop union-built affordable housing in the Reno area. We have worked closely with the Nevada Clean Energy Fund to help ensure that projects like ours have the resources they need to make their affordable housing projects pencil. We work with below 30% AMI at our 100% affordable senior preference housing complex, and we've seen what a difference a reduced utility bill can make for seniors on fixed incomes. The Nevada Clean Energy Fund is truly an investment in Nevada and its people. We strongly support SB 132, encourage you to do the same, and thank Senator Wynn for bringing it forward.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Alex Tanchek with Silver State Government Relations, representing the Pyramid Lake Paiute Tribe and the Duck Valley Shoshone Paiute Tribes. Here want to echo some of the comments previously made regarding the support for tribes. Reliable power is always a challenge for Nevada's tribal communities, and the Nevada Clean Energy Fund has been a tremendous partner in helping tribes achieve their energy independence. I'm also here on behalf of Vitality Unlimited, which is a nonprofit CCBHC that operates numerous facilities in rural Nevada. Nonprofits receive green energy assistance and would also appreciate your support on this bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the committee. My name is Olivia Tanager on behalf of the Sierra Club Toyabe chapter. For the record, we're also here in strong support of this appropriation. We believe that this is the highest and best use of our state resources in order to support communities across Nevada in securing clean energy. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair and members of the committee. For the record, my name is Christy Cabrera-Georgeson. I'm the Deputy Director of the Nevada Conservation League. This is a top priority funding bill for NCL this legislative session. I would like to point to a letter we submitted on Nellis, which has 26 organizations and businesses from all across the state in support of this bill. Recent polling also shows that 79% of Nevadans want NCEF to continue to be funded. With that, we urge the committee support, and thank you for your time.
Madam Chair and members of the committee, my name is Jana Moan, and I'm here with the Nature Conservancy. We stand in full support of Senate Bill 132. By providing technical and financial assistance, the Nevada Clean Energy Fund brings hope and opportunity for people and communities who want to generate their own electricity with renewable technologies. The Nature Conservancy supports this bill because we think it is important to encourage and incentivize development of distributed generation opportunities and resources across the state. Thank you so much for your support, and we urge your support.
Good morning, Chair Don Darrell-Loop and members of the Senate Finance Committee. For the record, I'm Mindy Elliott, MENDYELLIOTT, and I'm here today on behalf of the Nevada Housing Coalition, Nevada Rural Housing, and Southern Nevada Regional Housing Authority to express our strong support for this bill. Rural areas often face unique challenges in assessing clean energy resources due to limited infrastructure and funding. SB 132's provisions could help bridge these gaps, facilitating the development of renewable energy projects in underserved regions, and certainly reducing energy costs for low-income residents. We commend Senator Wynn for sponsoring this forward-thinking legislation and urge the committee to support the funding for SB 132. The bill represents a significant investment in Nevada's clean energy future. Thank you for your time and your consideration, and have a great day.
Okay, with that, I don't see any more support. We will go to Las Vegas. Please go ahead when you're ready.
Good morning, Chair and committee members. Henry Rosas, HENRY, ROSAS, External Affairs Manager for United Way of Southern Nevada. As a partner on the Nevada Solar for All Community Solar Program, United Way supports community members through the application intake process and monthly benefits process. And so we stand in support of SB 132 because of its ultimate support for low-income communities to find and obtain sustainable and affordable energy solutions. We thank Senator Wynn for bringing this forward, and thank you so much to the committee for hearing this bill today.
Good afternoon, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Hector Ariola, and I am the Policy Fellow with the Nevada Environmental Justice Coalitions. And for the sake of time, we just want to echo the previous comments and urge the committee to support this bill. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Seeing no more in Las Vegas, we'll go to the phone lines. AVH, when you're ready.
Thank you, Chair. If you would like to offer testimony in support of SB 132, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue.
Good morning, Chair Don Darrell-Loop and members of the committee. My name is Liz Becker, and I am the Inflation Reduction Act Campaign Coordinator at the Progressive Leadership Alliance of Nevada, and I'm calling in support of SB 132 today. I also serve on the Nevada Clean Energy Fund's Persistent Poverty Community Council and have seen the dedication and care that NCEF staff bring to their work. As mentioned by Ms. Stasio and Senator Wynn, NCEF already has a great track record of responsibly managing public funds. This small appropriation will go a long way in helping lower-income Nevadans access renewable energy and lower their utility bills, while also helping Nevada get closer to our renewable energy portfolio standard goals. And I also want to ditto previous comments, and thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you very much. Next caller, please.
Hello, my name is Chantil Roberts. I am the Interior West Regional Director for Vote Solar, testifying in support of SB 132. And I would just like to echo the sentiments of everyone in Carson City and Las Vegas and urge this committee to pass SB 132. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next caller, please.
There are no further callers for support testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to opposition. Opposition here in Carson City. Go ahead when you're ready, please.
Good morning, Chair and committee members. My name is Wiz Rizard, Deputy State Director with Americans for Prosperity. That's spelled WIZROUZARD. And on behalf of numerous grassroots activists throughout the state, we respectfully submit our testimony in strong opposition to SB 132. While we fully support clean air, environmental stewardship, and continued innovation in energy markets, SB 132 is approaching it in the wrong way, and it's one that distorts the energy marketplace, by directing taxpayer dollars to politically preferred technologies, and risks undermining the economic well-being of Nevadans, especially those who are most vulnerable. SB 132 approach is simply market distorting subsidy by way of using public funds to provide bridge or gaps funding and technical support for certain quote-unquote qualified energy projects, which inherently favors selecting technologies and energies of their liking. This undermines competition and shifts risk from investors to taxpayers. Failed taxpayer subsidies to qualify clean energy project is nothing new to Nevada, because we are reminded of the Crescent Dunes Energy Project that received over $750 million from the federal government through taxpayers and had completely failed, with taxpayers left to inherit the risk and financial loss. Now, we do understand that this is a 501c3 that receives the money and do different services, but part of those services and those assistance provides and directs it towards certain technologies. With Nevada still recovering from the economic volatility and budget constraints, committing $5 million to speculative energy ventures, which many rely on fragile subsidies, is fiscally irresponsible. At Americans for Prosperity, we believe that affordable, reliable energy is a key driver of prosperity and economic opportunity, and our energy policy principle emphasizes supporting bottom-up innovations that emerge from the private sector, not top-down mandates or political-driven funding. Removing regulatory barriers to voluntary efficient environmental progress rather than reinforcing them is going to promote policies and fuel technologies that are neutral, allows the market to determine the most efficient, cost-effective solutions. And so for these reasons, we ask you to oppose the appropriations being requested through Senate Bill 132. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Seeing no more opposition here in Carson City, Las Vegas, any opposition? Phone lines, please. AVH, when you're ready.
Thank you, Chair. There are no callers to provide opposition testimony at this time.
Okay, thank you. Neutral here in Carson City, in Las Vegas, on the phone lines. AVH, when you're ready.
Thank you, Chair. There are no callers to provide neutral testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. All right, closing comments, Senator. Okay, with that, we will move on to Senate Bill 165, and we'll welcome Senator Wynn back to the table.
Good morning again, Chair Dondero Loop and members of the committee. For the record, again, my name is Rochelle Wynn, and I represent Senate District 3 in Clark County in Southern Nevada. I'm here to present Senate Bill 165, and with me at the table here in Carson City, I have the now infamous Dr. Michelle Paul, the Assistant Vice President of Mental and Behavioral Health at UNLV Practice. And also down south, you can see at the table, I have Dr. Tara Rains, the Deputy Director of the Children's Advocacy Alliance of Nevada. I know we've already discussed in great detail the policy aspects of this bill, but just by way of providing context for the fiscal policy, I will let you know a little bit of information about how I was introduced, and it was through the two women that are presenting here with me today, as well as my city councilman, Brian Knudsen, who brought us all together to come up with ways to address and figure out how we could deal with the growing problem and the lack of resources and workforce development in the areas of children's mental and behavioral health. And so what this bill does is it seeks to create a new profession. We've worked very closely with the Balmer Institute, which sought to do this in Oregon by making a huge, significant $450 million investment at the University of Oregon to create this degree program. Even in Oregon, as they are starting to churn out graduates in the next couple of years in this new bachelor's level, degree level program, they are still going through the licensing process, and so that is also included in our bill. So there is potentially an opportunity, in addition to the allocation to the different universities, including UNLV, UNR, and Great Basin at this time. we would be able to not only have a place for those workers that are coming out of the University of Oregon trained in this like new profession, but we also be able to grow those that workforce development here to fill that developing need that we have already in our community. And with that, I will first turn this over, I believe, to Dr. Michelle. I don't know if you have any further statements to make about the internship program. I think that might be helpful on what this bill also does create. So go ahead and talk a little bit about that.
Good morning, Michelle Paul, MICHELLEPAUL, Assistant Vice President of Mental and Behavioral Health at UNLV, regarding the psychology internship program. So SB 165 does a few things to address the need regarding children's mental health. We need more providers across the spectrum. We need more providers ready to do early intervention, and that's the bachelor's level. But then at the other end of the spectrum, we need psychologists who specialize in working with children and families, and psychologists with their particular specialty skills. Unfortunately, however, there are no APA, American Psychological Association, accredited psychology internships in Nevada. And that is a full-time capstone residency training year that is required for licensure. And students have to leave the state. In fact, from UNLV, 7 of 7 doctoral students specializing in child psychology are leaving the state in July to get their residency training. So at UNLV Practice, we are equipped to create the first APA-accredited pediatric psychology residency training program in the state. And we thank Senator Wynn for building that into this bill.
And Dr. Rains, I don't know if you have any further statements or if you are just available to answer any questions, but I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Senator Wen. Tara Rains for the record, TARARAINES. And I just want to, again, just thank the Senator for bringing this forward. This is a bill that came out of our Children's Mental Health Action Coalition, a group of providers, parents, trainers, and youth in Nevada who feel that this bill captures an effective way to address the workforce shortage. In addition, this bill also includes funding for scholarships to incentivize young people and people across the state to study fields related to child mental and behavioral health. Thank you.
And to Rochelle Wynn, for the record, to address, there is a conceptual amendment. I believe it is at everyone's table. We were able to look at, and after talking with Director Whitley, talking about some of the interaction, some of the seed money to even investigate this program and whether or not this would be something for our state, had initially, Dr. Michelle Paul had received a grant of opioid funds through the Department of Health and Human Services to institute this. And so the required funds, in lieu of an appropriation from the state general fund, we would require the director of the Department of Health and Human Services to allocate the specific sum from the fund for Resilient Nevada, which is the opioid funds created in NRS 433.732, and that would pay for the allocations to not only UNR, UNLV, Great Basin College, as well as NSHE, and the practice to be able to start both this internship program, which would allow for it to be accredited. You need 3. So that $1.2 million would help start that first residency program that would allow us to not lose these professionals and have them remain in our state. Also, in addition to a new section to carry out Section 66, we would ask this committee to transfer $68,705 in fiscal year 2027 of the revenue from the assessments imposed pursuant to NRS 422.3794 from the account to improve healthcare quality and access created in NRS 422.37945 to the Nevada Medicaid account, budget account, to authorize federal funding of $115,171 in fiscal year 27. And to put that in layman's terms, that is using provider tax money to pay for the Medicaid portion that would be required in this bill. So as the bill stands here today, there are no general funds that would be used to implement and get these programs started. This party started. It is a party, a children's mental health party. So with that, we would stand ready for any questions.
Thank you very much. All right, with that, are there any questions? All right, seeing none, you may step back and we'll go to support here in Carson City. If you are in support of Senate Bill 165, will you please come to the table and begin when you are ready?
Good morning, Madam Chair and committee members. My name is Dr. Eugenia Weiss. I am with the School of Social Work at the University of Nevada, Reno, and I am here in support of SB 165. We would be providing, housed under the School of Social Work, under this bill, we would be able to provide micro-credentialing and a bachelor's program in child and behavioral health in order to develop our workforce to meet the needs of young children and adolescents in terms of receiving the care that they need for mental and behavioral health services. I'm happy to address any questions if anyone has any. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. For the record, Alejandro Rodriguez, Nevada System of Higher Education, and she is in strong support of this bill, and we'd like to thank Senator Wynn for bringing it forward. Thank you so much.
Good day, Madam Chair and committee members. For the record, my name is Adrienne Renwick, and I'm a teaching associate professor with the University of Nevada, Reno. I would like to express my support of Senate Bill 165. I would also like to add that we have been working with Senator Wynn on a proposed amendment that would add the School of Public Health and CASAT to the bill. CASAT is a center under the School of Public Health at the University of Nevada, Reno. Within the center, we have an undergraduate minor in addiction counseling, which is the largest minor on UNR's campus, and several advanced certificates in behavioral health, training clinicians to competently diagnose and treat co-occurring disorders. The proposed amendment would establish a 24-credit advanced online graduate certificate in co-occurring behavioral health and wellness at UNR, specifically designed for licensed school counselors, seeking to meet the educational requirements for clinical professional counselor licensure in Nevada. Currently, there is no statewide pathway for Nevada school counselors to achieve an independent mental health licensure due to accreditation standards through the Council for Accreditation of Counseling and Related Educational Programs, known as CACREP, which requires a 12-to-1 student-to-faculty ratio. This means that our Nevada master's programs do not accept students only requiring a handful of credits for licensure. This issue also extends to individuals wishing to relocate to Nevada and become counselors who have completed a program out of state. As recognized in the research behind SB 165, Nevada continues to face a severe mental health workforce shortage. Our youth face unmet mental health needs due to the shortage of providers in our state. Of additional concern is that according to SAMHSA data, Nevada's adolescent substance use rates rank higher than national averages. Our youth are particularly vulnerable with higher rates of illicit drug use, marijuana use, and opioid misuse. These high rates of substance misuse are the reasons we propose to develop a coursework that would train clinicians on co-occurring disorder treatment. Nevada has an untapped resource of trained professionals who, with additional specialized education, could significantly expand our mental health workforce while maintaining their commitment to Nevada's youth. This amendment could impact Nevada positively by strengthening Nevada's mental health workforce through the creation of a clear pathway for qualified professionals to expand their scope of practice, encouraging the retention of school counselors by providing career advancement opportunities, and contributing to the development of school-based mental health programs. I thank you again for the opportunity to speak in favor of SB 165, and I thank Senator Wynn for her support of expanding mental health care in Nevada.
Thank you. And thank you. All right, with that, we will, see no one in Las Vegas, we'll go to the phone lines, AVH, when you're ready, in support.
Thank you, Chair. The public lines are open and working, but there are no callers to provide support testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to opposition here in Carson City, in Las Vegas, and to the phone lines, AVH, when you're ready.
Thank you, Chair. There are no callers on the phones at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to neutral. Is there anyone in Carson City in neutral? And not in Las Vegas. We'll go to the phone lines, AVH, when you're ready.
Thank you, Chair. There are no callers to provide neutral testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. Closing comments, Senator Wynn. All right, with that, we'll close the hearing on Senate Bill 165, and we'll open the hearing on Senate Bill 281, and we'll welcome Senator Wynn back to the table.
Thank you, Chair Dondero Loop. Again, my name is Rochelle Wynn, representing Senate District 3. This bill started off making sure that we were going to be able to continue with extended foster care. We were lucky that as a part of the executive budget, it was included in there, so it left me with an empty vehicle. In talking with the counties and knowing that this was going to be a new expanded population in the rules that come July 1st, should everything, the budget pass, it will go into effect where our rural extended foster care program will begin. Some of the supporting programs that support these programs are programs such as a program called LifeSet. It is run through a nonprofit called Youth Villages. It's one of their programming, and it provides direct contact, one-on-one contact, wraparound services, a whole litany of things around this. And so initially this bill became as an allocation of general funds to that. When we were doing the presentation, it happened that from Clark County, there were a bunch of workers from SEIU that happened to be in the audience testifying on another bill, and they were people that administered this program in Clark County. I also learned that Washoe County had just recently started this program, and we're having a great deal of success as well. And so during the course of this, Director Whitley actually came up to me and said this would be a perfect program given and those of you that sit on this money committee, and I know a majority of you actually sit on the Human Services subcommittee, you heard a lot about the direct correlation and connection between our foster youth as well as opioid addiction. So this was, and now it has become a transfer of $2.5 million of opioid settlement funds from the Fund for Resilient Nevada to the Division of Child and Family Services, Clark County and Washoe County. And that would be able to cover some of this extended programming for our new population of extended foster care youth that will be provided for in our rural communities, but will also allow the funding source to continue in both Clark County as well as Washoe County. In addition to this, you will see that there is another amendment that I have included in this bill, and I'm looking for that amendment. It's a conceptual amendment that was probably on your table. It was on mine. And it adds an additional $15.1 million from State General Fund to the Division of Public and Behavioral Health of the Department of Health and Human Services for an allocation to Clark County of $8,100,000 and Washoe County of $7 million for jail-based behavioral health programs. As you will all remember, we had discussed this again during the budget subcommittees over and over and over again about this program that was very successful both in the Washoe County Jail as well as in the Clark County Detention Center that was being administered, that was really helping reduce, making sure that people remained competent after they returned from either Stein or Lakes, or we're able to get them some of those. It's not a competency restoration program that's offered in the jail, but it does make sure that people are on their medication. They are continuing taking their medication when they return back from having their competency restored. And it is a crucial part of what we have all learned is a huge problem within our justice system in trying to get people into those forensic beds that are totally lacking. Unfortunately, we didn't include it in our closing budget, and so I have added this on. I was told it was germane by legal, so it is now included in this bill as well. I know I've been talking with the Department of Health and Human Services. Previously, this was ARPA funded, and so we believe we have found some other additional ARPA funds that would be able to do that. So hopefully I will be able to come back here with further amendments that take that $15.1 million out of general fund and back into ARPA to be able to continue what is a needed program of prevention and maintenance. So with that, I will answer any questions that this committee might have.
Thank you so much for that information. And yes, we have those papers that you mentioned. Any questions from the committee? All righty, thank you very much. You can step back. We'll go to support for Senate Bill 281. Please come forward.
Good morning, Chair Dondera Loop and members of the Senate Finance Committee. For the record, I'm Kate Cantrell, Katecantrell. I serve as the West Coast Network Director with Youth Villages, a national nonprofit organization. We are testifying in strong support of SB 281 and want to thank Senator Wynn for sponsoring this important bill and for her commitment to improving the lives of foster youth in Nevada. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, Chair Dondera Loop and members of the Senate Finance Committee. Joanna Jacob, JACOB, on behalf of Clark County. I'm here in support of Senate Bill 281 and with two components, really critical components for Clark County on funding for our older youth in foster care, which is always a need for us. And so we appreciate Senator Wynn's commitment to that population. And then secondly, funding to support our jail-based programming over the next biennium. That is a very successful program and that we would not have been able to continue it without this funding. So we appreciate the support very much. And we'll continue to work with Senator Wynn on this as it goes forward. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. For the record, my name is Cadence Matijevich, Cadencematijevich, representing Washoe County. Pleased to be here in support today for Senate Bill 281 and are so grateful to Senator Wynn for bringing this forward and for being such an advocate for these important programs. Those of you, I know many of you sat on the subcommittee and heard about both of these programs, and then also those of you who sit on the Health and Human Services Committee have also heard from us throughout the course of the session about having resources available for these critical programs, and so we are so grateful that this measure is before you and would ask, please, for your support.
Good morning, Chair, members of the committee. Mary Sarah Kinner with the Washoe County Sheriff's Office. We echo the comments. We are grateful for Senator Wynn. $7 million for the jail-based mental health program will fund our very successful program through the next biennium. Similarly to Clark County, we would be unable to continue that program without this funding. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, seeing no more support here, none in Las Vegas, we'll go to the phone lines. ABH, when you're ready.
Thank you, Chair. There are no callers to provide support testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to opposition here in Carson City, in Las Vegas, and on the phone lines, ABH.
Thank you. There are no callers to provide opposition testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to neutral here in Carson City, in Las Vegas, on the phone lines, AVH.
Thank you. There are no callers to provide neutral testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. Senator Wynn, closing comments. All right, with that, we'll close the hearing on Senate Bill 281. And we will open the hearing on Senate Bill 231, which is Senator Stone. Please go ahead to the table.
Good morning, and thank you, Chair Dondera Loop and members of the committee. I'm Jeff Stone, and I represent Senate District 20 from Mesquite, including Henderson to South to Laughlin. It's my pleasure to present SB 231, which proposes to establish provisions relating to the collection of and destruction of unused drugs. The appropriate and legal disposal of expired or unused prescription drugs is important to prevent drug diversion, protect our landfills, and safeguard our finite water supplies. The issue is that there's not enough of these drug disposal bins in Nevada to appropriately and conveniently to discard pharmaceuticals. The Nevada State Board of Pharmacy in 2025 has identified the number of existing drug disposal bins in pharmacies in Nevada shared with a database with the DEA to be as follows. Las Vegas has 40, North Las Vegas has 3, Henderson 10, Reno Sparks 7, Elko 4. Making it more convenient for citizens to dispose of their unused or expired pharmaceuticals will minimize drug diversion and inappropriate disposal. Because of the inconvenience of finding drug disposal boxes nearby, many people may just throw their pills in the rubbish, polluting our landfills, or often flush their pharmaceuticals down the toilet, forever tainting our water supplies. The solution is installing more drug disposal bins in retail pharmacies throughout Nevada. So what will this bill do? It will encourage, not mandate, that pharmacies, especially chain stores within the market share, consider adding more drug disposal bins statewide, making the service better advertised and available, and expand to more convenient locations for patrons to utilize. Pharmacies that install these bins cannot, by legislation, charge a fee for patrons that uses the bins to discard their pharmaceuticals. In summary, Nevada has a shortage of drug disposal bins. 2, this is a voluntary program and is not a mandate. 3, the service is free to any citizen to responsibly discard their pharmaceuticals responsibly and safely. 4, this will reduce illicit drug diversion. 5, this will stop depositing these potentially toxic drugs into our landfills and water supplies. The SURGE Committee, the Statewide Substance Abuse Response Working Group, has recommended $500,000 allocation from the Opiate Settlement Fund, or the Fund for Resilient Nevada. Thank you, Chair Dondero Loop and members of the committee, and I'm available to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you very much. Any questions from the committee? I'll just make a comment. I was actually really surprised recently when I went to dispose of some drugs that these weren't in every single pharmacy. It literally never occurred to me. I don't take a lot of medications, so I didn't have a lot to dispose of. But it never even occurred to me that they weren't in every pharmacy. So thank you. All right. With that, any additional comments? All right, Senator Titus.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Senator, for bringing this forward. This is just a comment to tag along with our chair's comment. In our area, frequently the sheriff's department will have a bring back your drug day, and a lot of folks don't want to go to the sheriff's department to bring back their drugs, and so this will this will help alleviate some of that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Correct, Senator Titus, on all accounts. We have the same thing in Las Vegas where we have some drug disposal days, but I'm not sure that that's where you're taking some of your drugs. So anyway, thank you very much. I'm glad we can find some humor in this day. And with that, we'll go to those in support of Senate Bill 231.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Alex Tanchek with Silver State Government Relations, representing Stericycle, which is a company that specializes in the destruction of medical and pharmaceutical wastes. Drug take-back bins are a proven source in not only helping combat the opioid epidemic, but also keeping pharmaceutical compounds out of the environment and our water systems. And we encourage your support.
Thank you very much. All right, with that, seeing no more support here in Carson City and not in Las Vegas, we'll go to the phone lines. AVH, when you're ready.
Thank you, Chair. There are no callers to provide support testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to opposition here in Carson City, Las Vegas, and on the phone lines, please.
There are no callers to provide opposition testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. Neutral here in Carson City, Las Vegas, and on the phone lines, AVH.
There are no callers to provide neutral testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. And with that, Senator Stone, waving me goodbye. Alrighty, thank you very much. I appreciate your time. And with that, we'll close the hearing on Senate Bill 231. And believe it or not, we have now gotten to Senate Bill 108, which is Senator Titus, not our last item, but our last bill hearing for the day. Senator Titus, when you're ready.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Dondero Loop, and members of the Senate Committee on Finance. You know, left in the room is rural Nevada, so we appreciate the opportunity.
And you know what? We welcome them.
Thank you. My name is Robin Titus, and I represent Senate District 17, which is 6 Nevada rural counties, including Douglas, Lyon, Churchill, Mineral, Esmeralda, and a lot of Nye County, but most of Tonopah, or all of Tonopah. Thank you for the opportunity to present Senate Bill 108. With me at the table is Edwin James, the General Manager of the Carson Water Sub-Conservancy District, to help me present this bill. A little bit background information. Senate Bill 108 revises provisions governing the account for channel clearance, maintenance, restoration, surveying, and monumenting programs. Under current law, the state maintains a fund to support projects for clearing, maintaining, restoring, and surveying navigable waters. The state engineer manages this fund and may request additional fund money from the contingency account if the balance falls below $250,000 or it is inefficient to issue grants. This will make two key changes, and Mr. James will go into that a little bit more detail, but it raises a threshold for discretionary funding requests from the contingency account from $250,000 to $50,000. This bill also clarifies that only uncommitted funds are counted when determining the balance. These updates aim to ensure the timely availability of resources for critical waterway projects across the state. And now I'm going to turn, if it's okay with you, Madam Chair, to Mr. James for some additional remarks.
Please, go ahead.
Thank you, committee members. For the record, I'm Edwin James, that's James. I'm the General Manager for the Carson Water Subconservancy District. And today I'd like to discuss why SB 108, which is commonly known as the Clearing and Snagging Bill, is important to pass and fund. As you may be aware, the state of Nevada claims ownership to many of the riverbeds across the state. And with the ownership comes the responsibility of ongoing maintenance. Over time, sediment can accumulate in river channels, reducing capacities and increasing flood impacts or infrastructure damages. Additionally, fallen trees and other debris can pose safety hazards. Cleaning and maintaining the river channels are done by local entities. On the Carson River, it is the conservation districts that perform this maintenance and work on behalf of the state. Their main funding source for this effort comes from the state. These funds are critical not only to maintain routine maintenance, but also can be used as match for federal grants for larger projects. SB 108 addressed two key issues to the clearing channel status. First, it increases the funding cap for the channel clearance account from $250,000 to $500,000. And second, it allows the state engineer to request additional funding from the contingency account to replenish the channel clearing account, excluding committed funds. Both these provisions are essential. Increasing the funding cap from $250,000 to $500,000 recognizes the rising costs of channel clearance. The current cap hampers progress by requiring the state engineer to return to the interim finance committee multiple times to seek additional approval for more clearing and snagging projects to move forward. The second provision addresses a timing issue. Currently, if funds have been committed to a project but not yet spent, and usually it's delays due to permitting issues, the state engineer cannot request additional allocations from the contingency funds until funds in the clearance account have been spent. This restriction prevents other projects from being funded even if there's a demonstrated need. This provision of SB 108 clarifies that the state engineer can request additional funds when the balance in the funds, not including the committed funds, drop below the funding cap. CWSD urgently asks your support for this, and thank you for your time. And I believe some additional information was provided on the history of this legislature and also on some funding that's been occurring from this account.
You are correct. We have the paper in front of us with the history.
And if I might, Senator Titus, for the record, this money isn't just used in the north, it's been used throughout the state for river clearing.
Yep.
And if you need any further details on that, Mr. James could give you that too.
Thank you very much. All right, with that, I'll ask for any questions from the committee. I'd love to ask questions, but this is such a detailed description and very deep, not to be confused with water conversation. It's really, the history is very interesting to me as a native Nevadan, but I appreciate your being here and your expertise. So with that, seeing no questions, if you want to step back, we'll go to those in support of Senate Bill 108.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. For the record, Trevor Parrish with the Vegas Chamber. The Chamber supports this measure and is supportive from the fiscal perspective. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. This is Rachel Schmidt with the Dayton Valley Conservation District. The district fully supports this bill. We've used the grant funding for vital channel clearing work over the years to prevent flood damage, mitigate erosion, and preserve wildlife habitat. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair. Tyler Minor, MINOR. This bill strengthens Nevada's ability to manage flood risk and protect infrastructure by ensuring consistent funds and channel maintenance and restoration. It's especially important where well-maintained waterways support public safety, public infrastructure, agriculture, and local ecosystems. Thank you.
Good morning, Senators. My name is Mike Hayes with the Carson Valley Conservation District, HAYES. We support this bill. It really helps to get the river work done. It's a correct amount of money for the scope of the work that's usually involved. Thank you.
Good morning, Senators. My name is J.B. Leckenberry, Lekumberry. I'm also with the Carson Valley Conservation District, and I think everything's been explained well, but also as a business owner in the Carson Valley, the infrastructure that this also works, because our floodplain is, we don't have any river store to speak of, river water storage on the Carson River. So we're the first floodplain that affects the Carson River. And it's critical for the infrastructure, the bridges and all that. We see a great impact. So it's really not just, it's the whole community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any additional support here in Carson City? Seeing none. Las Vegas? Seeing none. We'll go to the phone lines. AVH, when you're ready, in support.
Thank you, Chair. There are no callers to provide support testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to opposition here in Carson City, in Las Vegas, and on the phone lines. AVH, when you're ready.
Thank you. There are no callers to provide opposition testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to neutral here in Carson City, in Las Vegas, and on the phone lines. AVH, when you're ready.
Thank you. There are no callers to provide neutral testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. All right, closing comments, Senator Titus? Okay, thank you, and thank you to all of you for being here and sitting through our whole meeting for this most important bill. Thank you very much. All right, with that, we'll close the hearing on Senate Bill 108, and we'll go to our last item for the day, and that is public comment. If we have any public comment here in the room in Carson City, I don't see anybody jumping up. Okay, Las Vegas, I don't see anybody in the room. We'll go to the phone lines. AVH, when you're ready, public comment.
Thank you, Chair. There are no callers to provide public comment at this time.
Thank you very much. All right, with that, I think we've completed our agenda. Thank you, committee members. And with that, we are adjourned. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.